better call somebody. It's me, it's the D-O-double-G. And by my side, as always, is that B-A-double-D, A-double crooked letter, the bad one, Billy Gunn. And we are the New Age Outlaws. And you want to tune in every week and watch crap. What is it?
Joey,
Jimmy, and Josh. Josh,
Joey
and
and Jimmy.
Jimmy
and Josh?
And Jim. Jennifer and Jalapeno. What? Jay and Josh and Jimmy.
Avocado and jalapeno.
I think it's Joey and Jace Show.
The Joey and Jay Show. It's wrestling and NASCAR. We're beating people up in fast cars. You need to tune in. 5 shows a week? Is that what y'all are talking about? Wait, it's Jimmy and Jay Show. Okay, what is it? Joey and Jay's Show.
You are so good at this. If you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you. Watch it.
Hello, welcome to the Joey and Jace Show. I'm Joey.
I'm Jace.
And we are about to welcome NASCAR Cup Series driver Joey Gase. But before we do that, let's go ahead and make sure that you guys check out www.westwoodfamilyracing.com and
Gameface Jace on YouTube.
So let's go ahead and welcome Joey Gase.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks for having me on.
Thank you.
Talk.
So, do you think we should go ahead and start off with our questions?
Yeah, that'd be great, but I have to say, I really like your guys' names.
Thank you.
You want to explain why he likes them, possibly, Joey? Go ahead.
So, to the viewers that don't know why, so as you can tell, my name's Joey, and his name's Joey, and his son's name is Jace, and of course this is Jace. So, for the viewers that didn't know, that's why he likes the name so much.
Yep.
So, let's go ahead and let's roll on with the questions. So, the first question, how did you get introduced to NASCAR?
I got into racing and in NASCAR because of my dad. He raced before I did, but just at the local short track level at Hawkeye Down Speedway. But ever since I can remember, he raced, and I always loved helping him in the shop and loved watching him every Friday night.
All right. So, what is your all-time favorite paint scheme?
Oh man, there's a lot of good ones. But I really liked Rusty Wallace's his paint schemes when he drove at Penske in the '90s. The black car with the yellow stripes on the bottom, and then sometimes he had different colors off the quarter panels. And I think those were always was really cool. And I was always a big Rusty Wallace and a Kenny Schrader fan.
All right. And Jace can now ask a question.
Who's a driver you'd like to do a throwback paint scheme to?
If I could do Rusty Wallace or Kenny Schrader's old M&M's paint schemes, I think that would be really cool. I've been able to do some really cool throwback schemes. Luckily, so far, we did Davey Allison in Talladega, and we've done Jimmy Means when I drove for him, and I've also been lucky enough to do my dad's old championship paint scheme. So when we were able to do that, that was really cool to me.
So, who is your all-time favorite driver?
Probably my dad. You know, he never raced in NASCAR or anything like that, but you know, I was definitely always his biggest fan. But other than that, it was definitely Rusty Wallace and Kenny Schrader. And I don't know why I like Rusty. I just always kind of have. And then Kenny Schrader, he actually raced at our short track Hawkeye Down Speedway once a year. They would do a special where they would actually race dirt late models on asphalt at our track. So that was the first NASCAR driver I was able able to meet and get an autograph from, and he was always really, really cool.
So, my question, what track is your favorite?
That's a hard one. I got a couple different favorite tracks. I really like the short tracks, like Martinsville and Phoenix and Richmond and Iowa. Those are by far I love all those tracks. And then I also really like Daytona and Talladega. Those are really special places when you go to them. And also the other great thing is that they're a big equalizer for the small teams. It gives everyone a fighting chance with the draft.
Another random question. What was your dad's racing number?
He was 1 for a long time, and then he was number 5 for a long time. So I've always really liked the number 5 and 35.
All right. And my racing number is 4B.
4B, okay, awesome. Where did the B come from?
So I didn't really come up with it. We just got the cart, and that was the number. I kind of liked it, so we just stuck with the number. So.
Well, that's good. Yeah, that's actually why I like 35. When we got my first go-kart, it had the 5 in it. I liked 5 and already had the 3 on it, so we just rolled with it. What go-karts and what classes do you guys race in?
So I race in Junior Sportsman Champ Clone.
And I don't have a go-kart.
He wants one.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I still I did go-karts from when I was 8 till 13, and I always did flat stuff. But now I race go-karts again as a hobby, and I have a flat kart still. And then I also now race champ karts as well with the clone on it.
So I guess you need to come on down and race here because Chad Fincham sometimes occasionally races here.
Does he? Okay, what track is that?
The Keysport Miniway.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to check that out. I always did a lot of asphalt racing go-karts when I was a kid, and I definitely missed that, so I'll have to check it out.
So, given what you know now, is there anything you'd change on your path to racing?
There really isn't a whole lot. We got pretty lucky, along the way. If we could have some more or get some more sponsorship, it definitely help us a lot. But we've been very lucky and fortunate enough not to be a rich family and to still be able to get where I am today. So luckily, a lot of times, we did the right things at the right time, and we're at the right places at the right time. So there really isn't a whole lot I would change.
So, my question is, do you have a favorite line to run?
It all depends on the racetrack. The short tracks I definitely like. Normally the bottom is the is the place to be if you can be patient on the throttle, and the super speedways like Daytona and Talladega, I normally like the top the best to keep your momentum up.
So, I'm curious what your opinion on is the potential number placement change.
It definitely looks a little different, but being a late model guy and a modified guy growing up, we always had our numbers as far back as we could on the door for the same reason that NASCAR wants to change it. And that's, so you can fit more sponsors on the car and make the sponsors bigger. So I, for one, like it.
Okay, so what is the easiest track to pass on and the hardest track to pass on?
Oh, man. That's really the mile and a halves, I think, are very hard to pass on because of all the aero you fight, and you don't really want to get into someone there unless you really have to, because it's just more dangerous and and harder not to wreck yourself sometimes. But I'd say the mile and a pass are hard, and the easiest, I guess I would have to say, super speedways would probably be the easiest if you're in a
So,
big group.
so my question is, how did you think about the Bristol Dirt Race?
I thought it was cool. To be able to say that NASCAR, races on big tracks and short tracks, and now that we're able to say race on dirt as well. I think I thought the race was really good for the first time. It'd been great to be able to race dirt, at an actual dirt track that they didn't have to convert the dirt, but at the same time, I know why they had to do what they did because, a normal dirt track won't be able to fit the amount of people that NASCAR race would hold, especially during COVID with all the restrictions. But, I thought it was really cool.
What's your personal dream car?
I would say probably a Lamborghini.
Not a bad choice, but this one will be a fun question. Um, which type of track do you prefer? Short tracks, intermediate, road courses, or super speedways?
I would say probably short tracks.
Why would you choose that?
For one, I think it's one of the type of racing that I'm really good at, and I think the type of racing it creates is always really good, and you don't have as big as aero factor that you do at a lot of the other racetracks that we race at, and it takes a lot of finesse with the brake pedal and a lot of finesse with the gas pedal as well.
Oh, so are you excited for the next generation car?
I would say yes and no at the same time. I think it's gonna help close up the competition a little bit with a lot more spec parts, and you can't shouldn't be able to cheat parts up as well, make them bend and break, and make them do what you want to do. But at the same time, it's going to be really hard on the small teams. All the small teams, all of our race cars come from hand me downs from the big teams, and the parts and all that kind of stuff. But the next gen car, it's everyone's gonna have to buy all brand new components, which is obviously going to equal out the field a little bit, but it's going to be really hard financially for the small teams to be able to do that.
Another follow up. So, have you talked to drivers who've driven it, and if so, what's their opinion on it?
Sorry, I lost you there. What did you say?
Have you driven, not driven, have you talked to any other guys that have driven the next gen car and maybe test sessions? And if so, what did they think about it?
For some reason, I'm not able to hear you guys anymore. I don't know what happened.
Can you hear me now?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Say something.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I don't know why I can't hear you anymore, guys.
Keep trying to talk, see if we can hear you now.
Can
I
you
can
hear?
try to get in, and I'll try to get out and get back in quick.
Say thank you. Okay, well, he's doing that.
Can you hear us now?
I got you now. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, great.
So I'll continue with what I was saying. So have you talked to any other guys that have driven the car? And if so, what did they think about it?
That they all think the car is really pretty good now. When it first started, it was really, really darty, but they've changed a bunch of steering components to make that a lot better. But the one thing that we honestly don't know yet is how the car is going to drive in traffic. And a lot of stuff that NASCAR is trying to do with this car is trying to make it better so we don't get aero tight or aero loose in traffic. But it's kind of really hard to know for sure if they're going the right direction on that since we haven't been able to test that with a lot of cars on the track yet.
So my question is, besides NASCAR, what is your favorite sport?
Probably football would probably be my favorite. Going through elementary school and middle school, I played pretty much everything. But once I got into high school, I just focused mainly on racing. But I definitely enjoy watching most sports though.
What's your favorite team?
In football, in the NFL would be the Vikings, and in college would be the Iowa Hawkeyes.
So, if I asked you to share your playlist, what would we most likely hear the most of?
Honestly, a lot of early 2000s and late 2000s music. I kind of just listen to whatever, but when I'm working in the office, I just go to YouTube and normally play those kind of song lists.
Are you a big gamer? If so, what games do you like to play?
Oh man, I used to play video games all the time. I don't have the time unfortunately anymore, but I used to play a lot of FIFA, a lot of Call of Duty, and a lot of Need for Speed, and of course all the different NASCAR games as well.
So, if you were able to create a team including yourself, what other three drivers would you pick for the team?
Uh, Probably Matt DiBetto, um, Timmy Hill, and oh man, who else would I pick? Uh, Alex Bowman.
So, do you think the Pro Invitational Series is good for NASCAR?
Yeah, I think it's good in the fact that it brings a lot of new people to the sport, just because there's a lot of people that watch it, maybe that just like video games or virtual reality, and I think it made them a lot of people during the pandemic be fans. Is it 100% like the real thing? Definitely not. But I don't think it's a bad thing that we do it. It's fun and it's different, and it gives our fans something to watch during the week.
Also, how has iRacing changed NASCAR?
It's changed in the fact that it's just racing in general. That racing's obviously very expensive, and iRacing's obviously a much cheaper platform where people can go race and go learn before they actually go do the real thing.
Do you think NASCAR should add more road courses?
I don't think so. I honestly think the amount of road courses we have now is good. Maybe add a street course or two in so we can go visit other cities and states. But I would much rather see them add short tracks over road courses.
So, where do you think the All Star race should be? Because, like, NASCAR's been flip flopping where all the All Star races have been. They went from Bristol last year, now this year, Texas. So, where do you think they should add the All Star race?
I think if they want to place like Martinsville or Richmond next, I think that would be really cool. Or maybe even if they went to a short track that we're not currently at, and even if it doesn't have a ton of stands, but just somewhere really really well known, I think would be really cool. Or maybe even the Nashville Fairgrounds, I think would be awesome.
What upcoming race are you looking forward to this season?
I'm really looking forward to getting back to Daytona and Talladega and also Richmond and Martinsville and Phoenix. Those are really my type of tracks I enjoy racing at a lot. But I'm also really looking forward to getting to Nashville here in a few weeks. That'll be the first time we've ever ever raced there, and obviously Nashville is a very cool town, and I'm really excited that we also will actually be able to have practice and qualifying again too. That would be great.
What is your race day routine?
It normally consists of trying to get as good a sleep as I can and getting a good breakfast, and then normally really antsy to get to the racetrack. Having these later start times is hard as a driver because we just kind of sit around all day and we're ready to go. But you always have to hydrate a lot, drink a lot of water and a lot of Pedialyte, and I eat a lot of chicken normally and peanut butter before the race as well.
So when you're not racing, what are you doing?
When I'm not racing, what I'm doing now is basically being a dad and trying to take care of my boys and be a good husband. But on top of that, even though we're not in the race car, there's still a lot of other things behind the scenes going on as far as office work, getting sponsors, and once you get the sponsors, keeping them happy and trying to do what they would like you to do to get media attention for them and publicity. And also, I run my own late model team now that we just started for development for young drivers, and we got Jace Holiday driving that. So that's taken a lot of my time too. And we're also slowly building our own Xfinity team as well. So there's a bunch of stuff going on that's keeping me very busy for sure.
Maybe in a couple of years, if I can improve my driving a little bit, maybe I can be on that team.
You never know. We love that.
Also, do you have any tips on how to get more sponsors?
Oh man, it's not easy, that's for sure. But there's a whole bunch of different ways to get sponsors. It's a lot about meeting different people and meeting the people that someone knows and someone else knows and someone knows. It is a lot about who you know and who you meet, and you can't meet those people sitting at home. You got to be out and about and at the racetrack. And if you're not racing, you got to meet the people at the racetrack, and those are the people that are interested in normally sponsoring and racing. But other than that, being sending out a lot of emails and phone calls and making yourself representable and coming up with unique ideas that maybe other people don't come up with, and how you can be possibly a good way to promote a company or even a nonprofit.
So, my last question for today. So, last question. Do you have any advice for young drivers like me that have a dream to get into the NASCAR Cup Series?
Yeah, for one, never give up, and two, to do what you're already doing. Start at a young age, and even if you're not at a young age, start at your local short track level. Even if you don't have your own car yet, or you can't afford your own car, still start at your local short track in the pits. There's everyone out there is always looking for extra help on their crew, and everyone will always take it, and learn that way. So you can learn, not you're learning how to drive, but also learning how to work on the car, which I think is also very important in knowing the ins and out of the car, and then you're also making more connections as well.
So, I'm out of questions now. So, I'd like to thank you for joining us. I've had a great time, and thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
No
thank
problem.
you.
Well, thanks for having me on, and sorry we had some technical issues probably on my end, but really appreciate you guys having me on, and hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night.
We'll also see you at Richmond during the playoff race, as well as Bristol.
Okay, well, awesome. Looking forward to seeing you guys there, and hopefully we can meet in person.
I hope so. But thank you for coming on, and we'll see you.
All right, thank you guys. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for everyone who watched.
And remember to like and follow Westwood Family Racing, and as well check out our website www.westwoodfamilyracing.com.
And make sure to go subscribe on YouTube to Game Face Jace. Thank you. Follow this page for updates.
Tell them about your race.
And on Saturday, May 22nd, we'll be racing out there at the mini ways. So we'll see you then.
Better call somebody. It's me, it's the D-O-double-G. And by my side, as always, is that B-A-double-D, A-double crooked letter, the bad one, Billy Gunn. And we are the New Age Outlaws. And you want to tune in every week and watch crap. What is it?
Joey,
Jimmy and Josh. Josh
Joey
and
and Jimmy.
Jay,
Jimmy
Jay
and Josh?
and Jim. Jennifer and Jalapeno. What? Jay and Josh and Jimmy.
Avocado and jalapeno.
I think it's Joey and Jace Show.
The Joey and Jay Show. It's wrestling and NASCAR. We're beating people up in fast cars. You need to tune in. 5 shows a week? Is that what y'all are talking about? Wait, it's Jimmy and Jay Show. Okay, what is it? Joey and Jay's Show.
You are so good at this. If you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you. Watch it.